Hello, everyone, and welcome to Young at Heart, session number 159. I'm Father James DeLucio with the Paulist Fathers, ready, willing, and able to offer you nursery rhymes, stories, songs, poems, Mother Goose, Aesop's fables, Lewis Carroll, limericks, larks, and such and other things to keep us all young at heart. This is another late night Young at Heart, or maybe just sort of the end of the day. Are you winding down, the dinner dishes put away, and you're ready to rest, or maybe even use this as your bedtime story? This evening, I'm continuing with African American folk tales. Today's story is in two parts, so you'll get part one today, sleep on it, and then get part two tomorrow. It's called The Tale of the Princess Elephant. There once was a woman who had 3 sons. They were deeply attached to their mother, and they always tried to please her. After a time, of course, she grew old and feeble. The boys began to wonder, what could they do to make her happy? The eldest promised that he would cut a fine sepulchre in stone for her after her death. The second said that he would make a beautiful coffin. The youngest said, I will go and get the tail of the Princess Elephant and put that in your coffin. The promise was by far the hardest of all. Not much later, the mother died. The youngest son set out immediately on his quest, without having any idea of how he would find the Princess of the Elephants and her tail. After traveling for weeks, he reached a little village. There he met an old woman who was surprised to see him. She said that no human had ever been there before. The boy told her why he was searching for the Princess Elephant. The old woman replied that her village was the home of all the elephants, and that the princess slept there every night. She warned him that the animals living there would kill him. The young man begged her to hide him, which she did in a great pile of wood. Are you anticipating something similar to other stories you have heard? Or have you already made some connections? The notes here make reference to Jack and the Beanstalk, who once he's in the faraway, otherworldly realm of the giants, the giant's wife lets him hide from her husband. But this story will definitely take a different turn. It's a different tale indeed. The woman also told him that once the elephants fell asleep, he should get up and go to the far corner of the hut, for that was where he would find the Princess Elephant. He should walk boldly up to her and cut off her tail. If he acted frightened in any way, the elephants would wake up and catch him. The animals returned when it was growing dark. The smell of human flesh was in the air, and they asked the old woman about it. She assured them that they were mistaken. The supper was ready, so they ate it and went to bed. In the middle of the night, the young man got up and walked boldly across to the princess who was sleeping. He cut off her tail. He returned home with it, carrying the tail with great care. When daylight broke, the elephants woke up. One of them said he had dreamed about the princess's tail and how it had been stolen. The others thrashed him for just imagining such a thing. A second elephant said he had had the same dream, and he was also thrashed. The wisest of all the elephants then suggested that it might be a good idea to see if this dream had come true. This they did. They found the princess fast asleep, completely unaware that her tail was gone. They woke her up and sped off to find the young man. They traveled so fast that in a few hours they were able to make out the young man in a distance. He was terrified when he saw them running after him, and he cried out to his favorite idol, which he always wore in his hair, "Oh, my Juju Jaipur, what shall I do?" The Juju advised him to throw a branch over his shoulder. He did that, and a huge tree began growing up from it, blocking the paths of the elephants. The elephants stopped in front of the tree and started eating it. This took up a good deal of time. Then the elephants began the chase again. The young man cried out, "Oh, my Juju Jaipur, what shall I do?" "Throw the corn cob behind you," answered the Juju. The lad did so, and the corn cob immediately grew into a vast field of maize. The elephants ate their way through the maze, but when they arrived on the other side, they found that the boy had already reached home. So they gave up the chase and returned to their village. The princess, however, refused to give up, saying, "I will return only after I've punished this cheeky boy for stealing my tail." She turned herself into a beautiful maiden, and taking a calabash cymbal in one hand, she approached the village. Everyone came out to admire such a lovely girl. And there is the end of part 1. We'll keep you guessing as to what may come. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, a little note about yesterday's story. If you hadn't thought of it, it was really a combination of two very popular tales. Our story, of course, was called The Story of Demane and Demazana, and it incorporated aspects of the Three Little Pigs and Hansel and Gretel. So if you hadn't had a chance to enjoy it, you can go back to session 158. If you can't find it on my Facebook page, go right to YouTube, James DeLucio, and you'll see it among the numbered videos there for Young at Heart 158. Meanwhile, I hope you get a good restful night and a good night's sleep, and awake refreshed and ready to start your day with more ways to be thankful for all that we are given. Stay safe, keep healthy. Good night, everyone.